Hello everybody, I'm InTheLittleWood, also known as Martin, and welcome to something that I don't often do on my channel. And I think the last time I did an unboxing video, other than a PO Box video, was for this, the very first Oculus Rift, the Development Kit 1. So, let's move from the old, and let's bring in the new, more compact, and cardboard Oculus Rift 2, or the DK2, the development kit number 2. This isn't the consumer version. It's very likely to go and undergo another change, maybe even 2, before people can buy it. But let's take these off of the desk and we can start making the comparisons and show you what is inside the box. The first thing that we have inside of this box is the manual. Not going to make you read it, but there you go, DK2 on the front of it, Oculus logo on the back, all the info you need to know about setting it up, as well as the positional tracking camera. So before I show you the Oculus itself, I want to quickly explain the major difference between the two of them. The first major difference is this thing. This is a little webcam that you get with the Oculus now, and it basically allows for positional tracking. That means that if I move around in this physical space and this camera is watching me, it will know. It can be anything from a step forwards to a step backwards. So remember the Razer Hydra shooter that I did, and I had to actually have like a Hydra connected to my chest. Don't need that anymore. The Oculus does it itself. If I want to look around a corner like I did in the Minecraft survival games, I can legit do that now. I'm not having to press forwards and then actually like moving my head in order to do it. It's legit. I can sit on one spot and I can move physically forwards, turn my head, and the game will do the exact same thing. It's very cool. So all you have to do is pop this camera on top of your computer screen. You have to give it about 5 feet away, and that will actually watch you as you play. Now, it's not wireless, unfortunately. You do actually get these 2 brand new cables with it, which run into the Oculus itself and into your PC. So the first one, if you notice on the side of this, we've got 2 ports. We've got a mini USB port, and we've also got what looks like an optical port for an audio cable. So this is the first one. This one actually goes from the camera straight into the Oculus Rift itself. I'll show you where in a moment. So that's that one. The second cable is this one. So it's got the very weird end just there, if you can see that, kind of gold plated, and this end, this actually goes straight into your PC. So that is the camera stuff. So I'm going to stand this up, pop that there for a moment, and I can show you the Oculus Rift headset Development Kit 2, and it's very nice looking, isn't it? It's rounded off now, which is really cool. And remember the issue that I told you about a second ago where the cable was at the side and it would get in the way? Well, what they've done is they've kind of gone for this ponytail alternative, which I quite like. So the cables now for HDMI and USB actually run out of the top of the Oculus. They go over the head strap and they actually join into a cable tidy just there, and there's actually a little bit at the part where the head straps overlap, and you get this sort of T-junction, and it comes out the other end into a singular cable, and there you go. You've got this end here, and you've got your USB and your HDMI. Now, before you reach that, there's actually this middle ground. So I don't know if you remember this box from a second ago, this one. Take that and make it tiny, make it a babby one, and you've basically got this. So all you have to do with this box is let everything else run through it. You need the power supply to go into this end, so this little thing here powers the Oculus Rift headset, which is insane. And then in the other side of it, that's where the syncing with the camera comes into play. So the little optical cable I told you about it, one of them goes into the camera, the other end goes into this, and away you go. That's everything sunk up. So once you've actually got it plugged in, you're going to want to press the power button, which before was located on the little box, whereas this time it's actually located on the headset itself. It's located right there. One thing I do want to check actually is with this cable going over the top, the Oculus Rift can be a bit like painful to wear after a while, and I'm wondering if this is going to make things worse, if it's actually going to reduce the amount of time I want to spend wearing one. So I'm just going to quickly pop this on because I want to see if I can actually feel it or not. I can't imagine I will be able to because it is independent to the strap. It just rests above it. It does sort of like fall off to the side, as I can feel already, but for the most part I actually can't feel a thing, and sort of weight wise way lighter than the previous one, or at least it feels that way. And also as well, I used to notice I get a lot of bleed from a lot of the lights inside of here when I used to chroma key stuff out, but I don't actually see any bleed now, other than a couple of like what I would say pixel size gaps that are around here, but for the most part they've managed to black out the headset. So what we need to do next is we need to plug this in, get it fired up, and see what the visual differences are and how the positional tracking works, see how good it is on a one-to-one basis. And before we do that, just to quickly point out about the resolution of this, the LED board on the inside, I obviously can't show you it, but before it used to go on a resolution of 1280 by 800, which is just above 720p, and now it is 1080. It's 1920 by 1080, and I'm very, very excited to see what the differences are going to look like when I throw this on. If you want to see kind of like a very simple guideline of what it looks like to wear an Oculus Rift, go to the link in the description. It's a little website that Toby found, and you can actually choose each of the dev kits and also the CV1 version, which is the consumer version, which is going to be above 1080p, which pretty much has no lines, and I can't wait for that. And yeah, let's play some games. Okay, so here we are inside of the Oculus Rift. We are on 1080p, and we are inside something known as Red of Paws, and I always forget the name of the title. It's something like Crazy Super Adventure, or something like that, and it's the same person that actually created that thing, and that thing, and that thing, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, but not that one there. Can you see this? This is Howl's Moving Castle. I'm actually looking in as well. This is the thing about positional tracking. Like I said, it can work out where you are in a space because of the camera, and I can actually look in closer, and I can look around corners and stuff, and this is very, very, very cool. Just looking in, and it looks fantastic. So, so good. So, very quickly before we get into kind of like looking around corners and everything, one thing that I wanted to mention that is really, really cool is you can now actually launch applications straight to the Oculus. So your computer screen will be left as it is, and you can launch them straight to this, or you can do the old method, which is where you actually have the same screen appearing on here as you do on your computer, and then obviously you're just mirroring it and doing that. That's what you have to do if you want to record an Oculus game, but for a general consumer, they're just going to want to load the game up and it just goes straight into this, which is really, really handy and cool. Let's look around the corner. Let's kind of demonstrate this. So before I would look to the right and move my body forwards, and it wouldn't actually do anything. I would just see that again. So even if I leant forwards and went around, that's all I'd see. Whereas now I can lean forwards like that. I can look around, and there it is. Notice how this works now? Not pressing any arrow keys, not doing anything fancy like that. I'm just looking around the corner and it's working perfectly. Oh look, there's Red of Paw. There you go. It's the same video that he actually has on his Kickstarter. And that is a very peculiar clock. Starts at 1 at the bottom and then goes clockwise afterwards. How weird is that? Okay, anyway, let's go over to the, what's this? A Tom Cruise poster and the Matrix, of course. So yeah, if I want to kind of get down onto these fishers level, I can do that. I can crouch down. I can have a little closer look at them. Oh, you're noticing a little bit there. See how it's going out of camera range? So when you actually are going out of the line of sight of the camera, it will let you know about it. It will do kind of like a grey overlay, and it will put some yellow text on the screen. Probably the best way to demonstrate this is if I try and look at these little soot sprites that are on the floor down here. Well, to be fair, even the little clicking head ghosts, if I actually try and get down to their level. So currently I'm head level with the Boiler Man and also Howl's house. Whereas if I move down a little bit, I can't even get as far as Totoro before the desk in front of me is blocking the camera. But obviously if you're in a well spaced out room and you've got no obstacles, then you're going to have a much better time with this. And just to kind of explain how this looks for me right now, before I used to see lots of lines. They were very like harsh and defined lines that made up even just the simplest of objects, whereas now it almost looks like that everything's made of kind of like a quilt. Everything's just kind of got this very slight bump to it. It's almost like a texture, like they've brought those lines and made them a lot thinner, and when the actual consumer version comes out, there should be like no lines. It should just literally as if you were looking through a window and that was all that you would see. So I'm quite excited for that, and I like that because you can lean, they've actually put the city lights, or at least on this side, a little bit out of the view range as well. That's good. I like that. So there we go. Let me know what you reckon in the comment section below. This is the brand new Oculus Rift. I'm very, very excited to have it. And as more games and more game developers as well get a hold of DK2, it means that way more stuff is going to be coming out for it. And we're that one step closer to getting the consumer version, which all of you can buy, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hopefully this was a pretty good unboxing and a nice little comparison between the two devices. And I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye-bye!